You end up going through different stages, right, where you're trying to take an idea that you have, the problem, you're putting together a solution, and then you're committing some time and energy to try and figure out, time, energy, and money to figure out what's going on and what you're trying to build, and then the big valley of death, validating, right? Getting out in the market, getting out in the world, and getting other people to understand what you've built, people that think and talk the same way you do, and that is often really, really hard, because if we're product focused, if we're engineered focused, we're focusing on this being good and right, and we kind of think that builds the market, and it doesn't. It's a very separate practice. And then once you get some traction, it's kind of adding fuel onto the fire to start scaling, and then ultimately to start establishing it as a real company. I get people all the time that say, I have this great idea, do you know an investor that I should talk to? And there's a disconnect. And what I find really often happens is that there's not people inside of the venture community, inside of the angel community, that are really talking enough about this, and they want to be polite. Portland has a very strong tendency to be very, very polite and not to tell you anything except you're too early, or it'll take 6 months to find out, and they won't tell you no. They'll just go. And so I think it's important to understand that different types of funding come in at different places in your business. And it's really not until you've started to commit time, energy, and this is where you would be building an MVP, is right in here. And that's going to start to prove it out. And it's not until some of that evidence starts to become really starts gaining some traction, or there's enough evidence of traction, that angels are really going to start talking to you. So I just think it's an important part of the conversation. Angel funding certainly does go beyond scaling and establishing. I just didn't want all the things to go off the end.